is not an easy thing for our insureds to get done. It's just not.
It's become increasingly a burdensome thing for these customers to come to the office.
It becomes something that just the customer doesn't want to do at the end of the day.
It's a very cumbersome, outdated law. And it really makes no impact at all.
It really is a pain point. We can't say that enough.
We had a client that had a terrible issue regarding Carco and their Carco inspections about 2 years ago. We had moved our client from one insurance carrier to another carrier, and they were required, because their vehicles were in the age timeline, to get Carco inspections done on both of their vehicles. During the time that they had to get the inspections done, and the insured knew they had to do it, they had to go down to Florida to be with a sick loved one, and they were down there for quite a while. And so by the time they got back, that 14-day window they had to get their vehicles inspected had expired. The comp and collision was removed from both of their vehicles. The insured did have an appointment set up the Monday after they got back, but the Sunday before the inspections took place, the spouse of our insured rear-ended another vehicle, a large commercial vehicle, and did a lot of damage to their car as well as the commercial vehicle. Commercial vehicle was covered by their property damage. However, since the physical damage was removed from their policy and their vehicles, their vehicle was not covered, and our insured was out about $15,000 worth of damages to their car. The insured wasn't happy. They understood, because we did advise them, and they knew they had to get it. The whole situation, they just thought it was crazy. And the fact that they couldn't find a workaround because they could not get their photo inspections done. They just couldn't do it.
The first time I experienced it personally as an onerous requirement was a rewrite I did. We had to ask our 78-year-old insured to go get a photo inspection. So our insured had to go out in the middle of a pandemic and the winter time to go to an inspection site that was far from her home. There weren't that many open before her coverage was canceled on her car. That brought it home so quickly and succinctly to me. I had to make that phone call to let our insured know she was going to have to leave her home in the middle of a pandemic. She obviously was horrified and gave me some serious pushback. And she is lovely. She is the sweetest insured, but she was obviously appalled. And then when I was giving her the list of the photo inspection sites in her area code or her zip code, it was very limited. So she was going to have to travel a significant distance, and she felt very unsafe. We've had just recently an insured lost coverage on their car because they went past the 14 days. They were out of town driving without coverage. Unbeknownst to him, we had to call and let him know, by the way, your coverage is gone because you didn't get the photo inspection. And then when he went to go get it, we sent him to the one place in Broome County that was listed on Carco's site, and it was not available. It was closed. This is not an easy thing for our insureds to get done. It's just not.
Another situation that recently happened was we had a customer that made a drive all the way to our office. They took time off work. This happened to be a young woman that had no one really to kind of take care of her kids. She wasn't able to really get that time off from work, so she had to come all the way to our office. And sure enough, when she got there, the Carco application was down and we weren't able to do that. We do have customers that have gone through getting the letters that their comp and collision has been removed from their vehicles. And that's a really scary position for them to be in, especially when they just bought it from a dealership and they know the vehicle is in great shape. We know the vehicle is in great shape. And the company has the technology and tools in place because of advances that they've made to know that there's, no prior damages on these vehicles. And then, they're sitting with nothing. And imagine they leave that day and they hit a deer, or, they get in an accident, and the financial, struggle that it would cause in their life to know that their insurance wouldn't be able to cover it just because they couldn't make it to a facility to get their Carco inspection done.
I've heard it so many times that I'll send a customer to a specific Carco site, and the site is either not willing to do the Carco inspection at the time. The customer calls me back telling me that they're not available. I would then have to look for several other locations, call the locations ahead of time for the customer so the customer doesn't feel so much more inconvenienced, and find them another site. We've all realized Carco has become such a threat, I want to say, for insurers, because it's kind of like they're not trusting them with their vehicle. We have to kind of let the insured know that they have homework after they buy insurance. This particular customer was truly irate. I had to handle that probably for 3 days, and eventually the customer didn't even want to do the inspection.
I can think of a particular scenario that just comes to mind with when I think about one of my clients and the experience they had. The client called me to complain. This is a longtime customer, actually just lost her husband not long ago, and it was a rainy day. The carrier was requesting the proof of it, the physical damage inspection was done. She had no locations by her home in Manhattan that were open. So I asked her when she goes to work to look in Queens to try to find a location. We gave her 3 or 4 locations. She didn't call till she was done with the 4th one. She says, just so you know, the first 3 were closed, or they told me we no longer offer it, or they don't pay us enough. She finally got it done, but she was very frustrated that it was such a difficult process to get the physical damage done.
If they can make this optional, that would be the most important thing for our insureds. And that's our priority as agency owners and agents. The most important thing is doing what's right for our customers.